All right, it is Wednesday, 9:41 a.m. and yeah, just to confirm, yep, Wednesday. I don't know where these 200 shares came from. I did notice that yesterday, after I had that last trade with ILUS, my attempt to hold it overnight, which would have been profitable if I were to have sold right at the market open, which is, going to be my plan. If I ever hold anything overnight, just to sell right at the market open, it would have been I would have been up a penny. That would have been a nice 8% gain. And I guess I did technically have some shares overnight from that last trade. I don't know, maybe something up with Fidelity, but it just looks like on Fidelity that I had 200 shares somehow. And I said, all right, let me just throw in a sell order and see if it happens. And yep, it went through at 933. I sold some at, what was it, 1349. So my sell actually was right here, 1349. I don't know how did I have these shares. It must have been from the last trade, so I guess technically I did hold some overnight, and I didn't lose any money, at least from the last video. Um, it shows that my balance was lower than what it is now. It's just slightly higher here, so I made some money. And as for a morning panic bounce play, it did break the trend line here, but I didn't like how it had a gap up and then it had a panic and then went red on the day. Not really the best price action for me to consider, but it can still play out, especially here. Looks like it might pierce through VWAP. Definitely. I was interested in it here when it broke under 13 again and it was in the 12s, but I never pulled the trigger. The entire thing was just kind of weird. But let's see if this thing can do it. It's trying to break through VWAP now. And I don't mind missing it. As for the other ones, this one had no volume. It wasn't really nice. This one, zero volume. This one, don't have any interest in trading it, although it can totally turn around. Just because of the fact that it was only up one day. I was looking at this one. This is a list stock because it was trying to do like a multi-day breakout. It seems like it appears like it's getting sold into. HMBL is uptrending. Not the best volume here, so I don't know what to do with this piece. I guess I was a little more profitable yesterday. I guess I might count how much I made today from this sell. Um, I guess I'll make an update later. I don't know how I had that. I like how on Schwab you can just press Control F1 and you wipe out all of your positions. You get out of everything. That can prevent stuff like this, but I don't know how I had an extra 200 shares. It seems like maybe with that last trade, instead of 100 shares, I had 400 shares or something, or I mean 300 shares. I'm not sure how that happened, but I'm glad I saw it and I sold profitably. Okay, it is 10:10 a.m. and I want to make an update. I think I could have, in theory, have been in right here with ILUS. I don't think I would have been in here for a morning panic bounce play, but I think my mindset was just messed up when I realized I had 200 shares and I had to sell that at 933 at this 1349 level. So I'm not extremely sure, what was that about. But yeah, this could have been it where, it kind of broke under the 13 level. This was kind of like yesterday, except we're looking at 13 cents instead of 10 cents. But the idea is that it broke under it here, it came under it here, and then it started coming back up. This could have been an entry, for sure. And then here, when it came back one more time and it didn't break under, I could have been in at 12.9. That could have been a real possibility. I actually still have it saved at 12.9. And that would have been it. That would have been pretty nice, but this wasn't a conventional morning panic bounce play because it sold off everything that it earned in the gap up. So it was not just something that went red on the day, but it was green on the day, and then it went slightly red on the day. So the whole thing was kind of iffy, but it did offer a nice move. I was interested in just, I mean, not too much, but the idea of maybe shorting MTRT at some point because it's a OTC. It's been up for many days in a row. It's not the best volume, but I just checked on Trade Zero and I have to pay $81 to locate, so not even trade it, but to locate 100 shares. And I think that's just kind of like a little too much to short 100 shares. That is just crazy, ridiculous, and expensive. So No interest in that one. This one is nice. It did do like a low volume spike, but I think I had a slight interest, but not enough to pull the trigger, and that would have been super profitable. CETI, although it was only up one day, it did eventually base, around the $1 level, and it made a nice move, I guess, of 10%, but not the best either. Volume isn't there. I'll make an update later. I might not have any trades or any official trades today, and I might only be up 1 penny from these random 200 shares. I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 10:23. I figured out the issue with those random 200 shares. This was the issue right here. As you can see, when I was talking the other day about potentially holding some shares overnight, it turns out that I actually did. And I bought 100 shares, which was my plan right here at 3:39 p.m. Right here. Let me see if I can just draw it briefly. Right here, and then I immediately sold the next candle at 13.6 because it just had that crazy spike. But it turns out that, you can see right there, I didn't actually sell the 100 shares. I actually bought 100 more shares. So that's why I had 200 shares. So I basically actually followed my plan of going overnight. And had I have known that was the case, I would have sold right at the market open for 8% gain with 200 shares. Instead, I sold it for just 1 penny above my entry. I think that is just a great reminder to just watch your positions and just to check over to see if you happen to be long anything. But that's what happened. I ultimately ended up being long 200 shares overnight. That was my plan, just 100. But of course, if I knew that was the case, I would have sold right at the market open because that's my plan always. And then wouldn't have messed up my morning panic, bounce play. I guess my mindset just wouldn't have been messed up. So that's really about it. Just figure that out. And yeah, this is not a regular, day trading recap video. This is a bit different, but. I'm gonna just be transparent, even if it's just a penny and 200 shares. That ended up being the case. I don't think I'll be trading anything today, but I guess I technically made a penny today and I lost like 20 less pennies yesterday because I never actually sold. So I guess I'm up a penny today, and I mean, that's better than what it could have been, right? This thing could be like at 9 cents 3 weeks from now. I'm just figuring out right now, at that point in time, oh snap, I was in at 13 what? So I'm pretty thankful for that. And yeah, I don't know if I'll trade anything today, but I'll make an update in the future. It is 12:52, and I want to go over a trade I took 2 hours ago with ILUS. And the idea is that, okay, so maybe yesterday was the big final panic day, and then today, it could be maybe a reversal day. I wanted some kind of a morning spike. We didn't get that. We had a morning panic bounce play actually that again I got confused with because of the fact that I fat fingered the other day instead of selling the 100 shares. I bought another, so I had to sell that. And I guess I guess I did hold overnight. So we had the dip under VWAP here, the morning panic, and then an uptrend, and then we had another dip right here. And I thought, all right, this could be the higher low off of here. Maybe it can continue the uptrend. It's starting to do it now. It might continue to uptrend more throughout the day, but it did not work the way I wanted because I wanted it to just, continue an uptrend and have more momentum than this. But I guess this is doing fine actually. And I was in 500 not 500, 1,000 shares at 1054, which was right here, right when it looked like it was starting to break past VWAP in the 14. And I was in at 1398, so right about here, before it did the breakout at 1398. And I just hated the price action, dude. Like the level 2 was like crazy, and then the bid and the ask would jump around, and then you can see all these weird crazy prints, right, like the whole thing was just ugly looking. at 10.56. I sold half of my position because it was sketchy. A slight loss, a slight difference from my entry at 13.98, selling half at 13.94 at 10.56. Let me see if zooming in actually helps. It does. 10.56. I sold again half right around this level right here, just because of how sketchy the price action was looking. And then I sold the rest at 10.59. So I was in this trade for about 5 minutes. And 10.59 was right here. I sold the other half at 14.1. Right here was my sell. And yeah, it's just consolidating. It never broke under VWAP. It never broke under my risk level, which would have been this 1371 level. And now it's at 14.5, so that's pretty cool. I just was not going to be holding this for as long as, this required and this particular setup would have ended up being. And I did have two verified cancels trying to sell at different points, but those didn't go through. That was a trade there. I don't think I'll trade anything else. I'm going to try to catch up with some work. I have a lot of work I need to do, and I'll probably do one recap once the market is closed. Alright, it is 6:57 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I finished up just 41 pennies, and that was trading ILUS in theory twice again. Me selling shares thinking that, I had nothing, and then it turned out I had 200 shares. Kind of threw me off and made me miss this morning panic bounce play. It wasn't too nice, but I think it was better than yesterday in the way it got to the price action and everything before it started to make a move towards the upside. It wasn't horrible. And I did try again later for, a continuation at 10.54, and that was just a bit awkward the way it was trading. It wasn't really that nice, although at least it kind of held itself together. It seems very heavy, like maybe there are too many people selling, but who knows, they can do something nice. TGGI, I didn't mention this, but this is more of what I wanted ILUS to do. It had the first dip under VWAP here, right? And then the second one, it immediately started the uptrend and looked nice. And, I would have been able to sell here in this consolidation, and that would have been just a lot nicer than what ILUS was. And that it had the second one here, and it was all awkward looking and jumpy with a weird level 2. So that was about it for that one. And for the other ones, there was nothing really else except for HMBL, which did break the day high. I just wasn't there when that happened. And yeah, I think that's about it for everything else. Nothing really here. I mean, sure it broke so, but I doubt I would have traded it if I saw it. It just looks kind of weird and iffy, but I like how the volume came back. Maybe some news popped up or something. Yeah, that's about it for today. Just had that, set of trades there with ILUS, and God willing, I'll be ready tomorrow.